Hello, everyone, and thank you for the download.
Hello.
It's Sunday, May 22nd, and this is episode number 76 of the WDW Fan Boys Podcast.
Really?
I'm Tim Grassi, and today I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Brett Bennett and Paul Miller. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the show, Paul. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. I feel kind of like a turd for not being here for that long.
We'll forgive you. I can't speak to our listeners, but...
Usually when you flush a turd, it doesn't come back.
It's true. Unless
You're here. Yeah.
Unless I've eaten broccoli.
Yeah.
Paul is one of those magical turds you hear so much about. Do you have a question that you think we can answer? Or better yet, one that we probably can't? You can send us your questions by emailing questions at wdwfanboys.com. Our show is brought to you by Pixie Vacations. From Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and the Disney Cruise Line to fantastic guided tours with Adventures by Disney, we encourage all of our listeners to contact Pixie Vacations for all of your Disney vacation needs. The experienced staff can help you with every aspect of your Disney vacation, and it won't cost you a penny more than booking with Disney yourself. They'll also be able to clue you in on any discounts you might not be aware of. As if that wasn't enough, if you spend over $2,000 on your Disney vacation, you'll receive a free $25 Disney gift card just by mentioning the WDW Fan Boys Podcast. And if you book that $2,000 or more Disney vacation through Pixie Vacations between May and June, you'll be automatically entered in the Pixie Vacations $250 Disney gift card giveaway. For more information, visit pixievacations.com for your free quote, or call 678-815-1584.
Now, in that $2,000 you're spending on your vacation, does that include when you tip the princesses?
Yes.
That's cool. All right. I should be able to clear that.
We are still running the Are You Smarter Than a WDW Fanboy contest, and I promise we'll be doing that again soon, and we'll explain some of the delays in that in some of our announcements that we've got coming up. First announcement is, I haven't really called attention to this, but each one of our shows has an associated image to WDW Live, and it's our way of tying us back to WDW Live, our parent site. And if you've never been over to WDW Live, they have some great desktop wallpaper for your computers. And I know I use these all the time at work, where I just cycle through the desktop wallpaper. And if you're so inclined, you can click on the image that we have associated with each podcast on WDW Fanboys, and it'll link directly over to the various size desktop wallpapers on WDW Live. The other really big announcement that we have is we're proud to introduce our new logo. Some of our more astute listeners will have noticed this over the past couple weeks, that we've been using our new logo, which was designed by listener Ben Schmidt. And if you are looking at this right now, you can see it on your actual iTunes file as you're listening to it, or you can go to our website and see it. It's a silhouette of the castle and silhouettes of the three of us. Paul, you're the one with a cane, as far as I know. Brett's floating away, and I'm riding an elephant, as it should be.
I've got a cane?
Yeah. I thought I was riding you.
Oh, this is pretty sweet.
I am not an elephant.
Oh, sorry. Now, if any of our listeners wants to hear the full story of how we actually got to this logo, send an email or comment on the podcast page, and I'll send you the full version, because I'm sure Tim and Paul don't want to hear it.
I'd be interested to see how we got to this logo.
Okay, well, Ben definitely ran with it. I mean, he completely took off, and he deserves full credit for
yes, absolutely,
bringing us the logo that we have right now. But for months, we were trying to figure out what we wanted for the logo. And, Tim was mentioning to Paul and I, if we have any ideas, just let us know and talk about them. And I remember I had said, I'm not great at coming up with initial ideas. I'm much better at taking someone else's ideas and making it better. Right. So we had gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then Paul just happened to, I think he just randomly, without even thinking, shouted out, we should have a fat guy, a crazy guy, and a cripple in the kingdom. Yeah. And that got me thinking. The next day, I went online and I found 3 images. And I had also found this really extremely rough sketch of a castle. And I threw them on there, and Ashley worked it a little bit, but it wasn't quite what we were looking for. About the same time, Ben had sent us some fantastic logos. They just weren't what we were looking for. And I immediately responded, thanking him, and sent him what we were along the lines looking for, which was the one that I had roughly designed.
I'd say that basically what happened is the design that you came up with and one of the initial designs that Ben came up with were more or less blended together into one design to create what we have now. I mean,
Not
like
really.
I think that the actual design of maybe like the color scheme and things like that wasn't that in the original one that he came up with.
Nope, not at all.
I could be making this up. I don't know.
Yeah, completely.
I was wrong.
As soon as, and it's funny because I figured when I had sent him, well, he had sent us one that was very similar to, I think it was the Disneyland Fantasyland
Oh yeah, that's
logo.
right. That's right. Yeah.
And he put the WDW Fan Boys, and it was incredible, but it was way too much like something that was already being used by
We would have
Disney.
lawsuits on our hands.
Big time. There was another one that was sort of like if we were doing WDW Fan Boys Monster Garage,
Yeah.
and it was extremely cool.
Exhibit pimped our logo.
Yes. I'd still like to use that one for our Uncensored or somewhere else because it was a very cool logo. And I don't remember if he came up with any more, but I know those two really stood out. So that's when I had sent him what I had roughly designed. And it's funny because if you see the two, you could say, okay, I can see the very slight similarity in the two, but I mean, he really went from Yugo to Mercedes with what he accomplished. And
Well, he
I
put
mean,
together a better background castle. I'd say that the concept of the silhouettes, which is what you had on the original design that you came up with, was pretty much the same. We just changed around what the silhouettes were. I think.
right.
Ironically, the thinnest of the silhouettes is me. But we needed someone that could be riding an elephant, so I took a picture of a silhouette riding a horse, put that on an elephant, and apparently fat guys don't ride horses. So.
It's funny because I told you that looked like me 20 years ago, but the one of me is actually the identical one that I had sent him, and it was supposed to be a guy in a rant that was on the ground just jumping up and down screaming at something, and he took it and attached balloons to it and made it flying away, which was a great idea.
Yeah.
And Paul's original one, I don't think that was high enough resolution to use, so we did find something similar, but I had found the one with Paul definitely with the bowler hat and the cane. I thought that would be perfect because I know that
For anyone looking for a reference to where Paul's hat came from, refer to Uncensored episode number 12, titled Paul's Stupid Hat.
yes, that is not a stupid hat. That was very mean of you. Going to hell, my good sir. So yeah, Paul had sent a picture months ago of this bowler hat he got, and I
He
used
stole it from Robin Hood.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I used my masterful Photoshop skills and superimposed it onto the three of us in front of.
Rose and Crown.
Thank you.
And that image again is in the show notes for the Uncensored show number 12.
Yes.
You can actually look at that without being offended, without actually listening to the show. You can see the photo. Anyway, so what this brings us to, going back to the Are You Smarter Than a WDW Fanboy contest, is we will be launching a new store where you can purchase these shirts with the new logo on it. And once that online store launches, we'll be able to give these shirts away as prizes as well using the Are You Smarter Than a Fanboy contest. So we're expecting to have that up and running within a month. So that's something to look forward to as well.
Yay.
And finally, about 10 minutes into the show, we are going to basically hand the reins over to Brett because Brett just came back from Disney World, and he's here to give us his trip report. So, Brett, take it away.
Okay. We.
Nice and awkward.
Thank you.
That's how we like it.
Okay.
That's the thing is, I don't want to give a play-by-play because that's extremely boring.
It's frowned upon.
So yes. So I guess I'll just be jumping around, starting at the beginning
Whatever.
and then just going from there.
I'm sure Paul and I will interrupt you and basically disrupt any progress you actually had.
Good. We left early morning on Tuesday. Got there probably about 10:30. Went to MGM Studios. Went to Hollywood Studios, and walked around a little bit. Really didn't do too much at the studios. wasn't too busy. But the next day we went to Magic Kingdom. We opened the Magic Kingdom, and I met up with Zach because we had to go to Orlando to Universal Studios to get our tickets because Zach was getting them with his employee discount. We actually had eaten breakfast at the Contemporary Resort, so I left the car there and we walked over to the Magic Kingdom. Zach and I were walking back to the Contemporary to get my car, and I saw Lumangello. So as we were on the walkway right before the little guardhouse, and I saw him, and I said, "Oh, hey, that's Lou." So as he started walking by me, I said, "Hey, Lou," and it's funny because he turned real quick, and he was all set to just give me a quick hey and keep walking, but he recognized me, and he stopped. And it's funny because I actually kept walking
From the photos in the post office.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because now that Bin Laden's gone, I'm actually on the top 10 again. So, anyways, as I was walking by him, I noticed that he stopped, and he looked at me and he says, "You look familiar." And I said, "Well, geez, I should. I ran interference last time you were trying to do a show at the and he finished it for me. That's right, at the Haunted Mansion. That's right, you're Brett, and you're from Naples." I said, "Yeah." So we talked for a few minutes, and I mentioned how I had passed his restaurant a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, geez, when you get back, send me an email, and I'll make sure I'm there." So, anyways, he invited us to the restaurant for, I'm guessing, something to eat, I hope. Anyways, we went up to Universal, got our tickets. As soon as Zach and I got in the car, Annalise tweeted me and said she saw Lou Mangello, and she saw him over, actually I shouldn't say, it was a few minutes after we got in the car. He was over, is it the Yankee Trader?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, near the Haunted Mansion. So he was over there. So I told her, I said, I was just talking with him. I said, go over and introduce yourself and tell him you're my wife. So she did. And, he was really nice and sounded glad to meet them. And Annalise was with Jimmy. Jimmy Jimmy asked if he could have his picture taken with Lou. And he said, sure you can, but what's that?
So of course he did.
Yeah. And, Lou was like, well, you can as long as you're not taller than me. Because Jimmy's 12 and he is tall. Well, I'll send you guys the picture, and Jimmy's about 2 inches taller than Lou. So at 12 years old, Jimmy's just a little bit taller than Lou Mangello.
Of course.
Yep. And Lou had goldfish platforms on.
From
40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the next day we went to Universal Studios, and we went as a family back in 2005, and we haven't been since. Most things, pretty much the same. I mean, the park wasn't, as far as Islands of Adventure, park wasn't any worse for wear, but we went straight, per your recommendation, we went straight to Harry Potter Land.
Right.
And it was great because it was very small, light crowds because it was first thing in the morning. We actually got in 10 minutes before it opened.
Excellent.
And we went through some of the shops. Like you had said, Tim, the first thing that filled up big time was Ollivander's Wad Shop.
Yes.
So we passed on it, and we walked around for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we went on to the ride, The Forbidden Journey. Annalise and Jimmy didn't really want to go on the ride. I did, but instead of going through the single rider line, we walked through the queue, and then I just let them know when the queue sites ended, let them know I'm a single rider, and they shuffled me to the front. It seemed like there was already a wait because it was outside of Hogwarts where the line started. But come to find out, it was mainly just, people looking and gawking at everything there was to see. Yeah. Right. So we went through, we took a bunch of pictures. I went on the ride. I liked it a lot. I was really impressed. You're right, Jim. It is extremely similar to Sum of All Thrills, except a lot more intense. And
I wouldn't say that it's more intense. I think there's more to it. I think Sum of All Thrills may even be more intense just because it goes upside down.
Well, it can be more intense because that's how you can design it. You can create it as movement goes. But as far as sights, the Forbidden Journey is more intense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
But so then after there, Jimmy wanted to go on the unicorn coaster. Well, no, it's not is it still the unicorn coaster?
No, it was it was Flight of the Unicorn or something
Flight of the Unicorn,
that.
That's right.
And,
What's it
and
now?
Now it's Flight
of the Griffin. Right.
Hippogriff.
Hippogriff, thank
Not
you.
Peter Griffin.
Thank you. So he wanted to go on that, and of course, there was already about a